prospect standpoint relative to where we are today. And I think you're going to see more of an impact from our minor leagues this year than maybe you would have last year, even though with injuries, when you had guys like Joe Kelly and Shelby Miller come up here and do what they did, Rosenthal, you saw the contribution quickly. And so, you know, that's really our model, and that's how we have to be successful. So as we move forward, that's what we want to see happen is get a lot of our questions answered through our minor league system, and that's what we're going to continue to try to do moving forward. Having said that, we feel our core of our club is intact. You know, there is some questions on health and whether we'll be at full strength from day one. Early returns on our pitching as far as Chris Carpenter and Jaime Garcia are encouraging, if not positive. And in terms of recall, everything that we're hearing from down in Florida is very good. Now, you certainly leave yourself for some exposure with regard to that, and so you know, we have to have contingency plans, and that's what we'll work on. You know, when you look at what Cosma did in that brief time last year, we feel confident that he can come up and still be a contributor on this club. Between now and opening day, if we feel like we still need to address the middle infield, we certainly will consider it. We haven't, you know, turned off any of our exploration on that at this point either. So we're still open for that. We're still looking at things, and you know, as we move closer to Jupiter, we'll continue to try to do that and try to find ways to improve the team. But overall, we feel good about this club. You try and take a look back at where we were a year ago to where we are today. You know, the level of optimism going into this camp is much different. It's a much different feeling with Mike Matheny having a year under his belt. The success this club ended up having last year, I feel, was a great stepping stone to build on. So, you know, as far as our upstairs confidence, we feel pretty good about where we are. I'm not done. No.
Jaime was in here and obviously got asked the obvious, and it seemed like the recurring theme he expressed was, we'll see. I mean, he couldn't speak in any categoricals or certainties, obviously, but I just wondered from your standpoint, how does we'll see, you know, translate for you?
Yeah, I think that's probably the right approach. You know, when you look at what he experienced last year when he was shut down, came back and pitched effectively for a while, but then still didn't feel right. Obviously, the surgery discussion was one that really wasn't a clear answer. He chose not to do it. I think his off season was spent well, and you know, I do know he feels good about where he's at, but you know, frankly, until you get on that bump and put game pressure on yourself, you're not going to know for sure. And you know, that's one of the things that we're going to have to just wait and see on.
Does that, I hear what you say about your depth, and I know where the depth comes from, but to say that you don't know until he gets on the bump, does that create any sense of organizational apprehension, or are y'all deep enough that, hey, if it ain't him, it's going to be somebody else who's going to be pretty good?
That's right. I mean, I do think when you look at the options we have, I mean, I think right now, even if everybody broke healthy, we'd have a hard time getting a couple players on this roster. So I think right now depth is our asset.